In the headlines, 5 suspected gunmen killed in Umuana, Isofia in Aguata local government area of Anambra State. Famfere as 12th Emir of Katagum receives staff of office. Wheat farmers in Jigawa set to begin planting amidst scarcity of seeds and fertilizer. And lastly, on the foreign scene, Charles III leads first Remembrance Sunday as king. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Updates. I am Martia Umar. Thanks for joining. Now the news in detail. 5 suspected gunmen were killed following a battle with security agencies in Umuana, Isofia local government area of Anambra State. Isofia is the hometown of the Anambra State Governor Charles Soludo. The gunmen had attacked a checkpoint in the area early on Saturday, and following the success, the Commissioner of Police Echeng charged the officers to sustain the tempo against the onslaught of criminal elements. He also ordered patrols to be intensified, just as he called for improved operational positioning to respond to distress calls in the state. The corpse of a 24-year-old identified as Aldi Marcus has been recovered in the outskirts of the Bali community in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. The body of the deceased, which was dumped in the bush, was discovered on Friday afternoon with his vital organs removed. The Plateau State Police Command confirmed the incident and told Trust TV that efforts were being made to arrest the perpetrators of the crime. Ado Musa completes the story.
The killing of Marcus is coming barely 2 months after a 14-year-old Mariam Salisu was murdered in cold blood on the outskirts of the Babale village, with her vital organs also removed. According to a resident of the community, Marcus disappeared last Saturday, and all efforts to know his whereabouts were unsuccessful until Friday afternoon, when his corpse was found in the nearby bush. Bulus Samuel, commander of the neighborhood watch in the Babale B, explained how the corpse was found in the bush. We saw some people whose up and down and movement suggested all was not well, and when we asked, they told us that they were searching for their brother who disappeared on Saturday. Before they came to us, we were already told that a corpse was found in the bush. We told them to go and confirm if the said corpse was that of their missing brother, and on getting there, they discovered that it was actually the body of their missing brother. Nafiu Idris, a commander of hunters in the community, expressed worry over the incident and called on the government to do the needful to ensure the security of the area. We are already in worry. This is the second time in a few months that people would just be killed for nothing. We are calling on the government to come to our aid. The residents of the community hope that with the trend of the killing of innocent souls in the community, the appropriate authority will rise up to the occasion to investigate the perpetrators of the ritual killings in the area and bring them to book. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Ogun State Police Command says its officers have arrested 3 suspected car snatchers in the Okitoku area of Abeokuta, the state capital. This was contained in a statement by Command's Public Relations Officer Bimbola Oyemi, who said that the suspects are 3 male adults. The suspects were said to have been arrested following a report lodged at Okitoku Police Divisional Headquarters by one Olusesi Akingbile, who reported that while he parked his Toyota Camry car with registration number in his house at Ijemo on the 12th of October 2022, he said the car was stolen by known thieves and efforts to locate the vehicle proved abortive. He said that upon the report, a message was sent to all police formations in the state to be on the lookout for the said car. On the 9th of November 2022, the stolen car was sighted in a mechanic village along Ajabo Road by policemen attached to Kemta Division while on routine patrol. The State Commissioner of Police, Lanre Bankole, has directed that the suspect be thoroughly investigated and charged to court as soon as possible. The contest for the Gombe North Senatorial District is becoming a subject of discussion as former two-term governor of the state, Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambo, is set to challenge the incumbent senator, Saidu Ahmed Al-Khaili. It said it could be recalled that Al-Khaili of the APC defeated the former governor in the 2019 elections and clinched the Gombe North Senatorial seat. However, Governor Dankwambo is said to have re-strategized to contest in the 2023 general elections. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
It was a devastating political setback for the former governor of Gombe State, Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambo, in the 2019 general elections, as the two-term governor lost the Gombe North senatorial seat to Senator Saidu Ahmed Al-Khaili of the APC. But with renewed vigor, Dankwambo is recontesting the Gombe North senatorial position in the 2023 elections, a decision that triggered political debate over his chances against the incumbent Senator Saidu Ahmed Al-Khaili.
Of course, you cannot override him, although there are many odds against him. Number one, he was the incumbent sitting governor in 2019 when he lost to the same Senator Saidu Ahmed Al-Khaili. This should not be forgotten easily and quickly. Now that he is no longer a sitting governor and the same person that defeated him is still there in the seat, that means there is a kind of a culture, a tradition that may easily repeat itself. We should not forget that. This is one. Secondly, being one of the major PDP stalwarts nationwide, one cannot override him. And also for the fact that the APC in general as a ruling party is perceived to have performed woefully, poorly.
According to Kashere, although Saidu Al-Khaili may have his shortcomings, he is however not short of the needed potential to make progress in the election. Residents in Gombe Northern Senatorial District are divided on the chances of former Governor Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambo and Senator Saidu Al-Khaili in the 2023 elections.
Al-Khaili would beat Dankwambo.
Why?
Hands down.
Why?
Because if you look at Dankwambo as a former governor, when he lost the election in 2019, he just left the state about more than 3 years before he came back to the state.
I have strongly believe that Dankwambo will win the election over Said Dan Al-Khaili, inshallah, in the next general 2023 election, inshallah.
There are 11 candidates from various political parties contesting for the Gombe North senatorial seat. However, the most notable contestants are the candidates of the APC, who is the incumbent Senator Saidu Ahmed Al-Khaili, former Governor Ibrahim Dankwambo of the PDP, and Muhammad Sabiu, candidate of the NNPP, followed by the candidate of the Labour Party, Adamu Ibrahim Usman. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail, reporting for Trust TV.
And still on issues from against the 2023 elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on Saturday said the statement alleging that it is investigating the connection of the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) Bola Tinubu in alleged drug trafficking did not emanate from its office. The statement, which was allegedly signed by Festus Okoye, INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, had said the electoral body is liaising with Northern Illinois District Court to establish more facts on the case. Okoye, while reacting to the statement, which has been in circulation, denied issuing such a statement and described it as a handiwork of criminal enterprise. The Emir of Katagum, Umar Farouk II, has identified security and the welfare of his people as his priority areas during his reign. He has also called for prayer after the country goes into another phase of election to ensure peaceful and acceptable exercise. Farouk II stated this after receiving his staff of office from the state governor in Bauchi. Trust TV's Adamu Imam was there and now reports.
The ancient city of Azare in Katagum local government area of Bauchi State was agog as people from all walks of life gathered to witness the presentation of staff of office and oath of allegiance by the State Chief Judge, Justice Rabi Umar, to the 12th Emir of Katagum, Umar Farooq II. The Emir promised to be just and fair in his leadership.
Are all grateful to your esteemed presence. I was appointed Emir of Katagum on 30th December 2017. Soon after that, we set up our development agenda, highlighting our priorities. These include security and the well-being of our people, education, health, job creation, poverty alleviation, and the most important, 100% support to your government.
The State Governor Bala Mohammed maintained that traditional institutions has a major role to play in securing the country, hence the need for it to be an agent.
Our traditional rulers should activate the traditional security system whereby strangers or suspicious movements are reported to them, and they would in turn conduct investigation to ascertain the motive of the strangers or suspicious movement so that security could be nipped in the bud.
More than 60 traditional rulers and dignitaries, including Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, as well as presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, were in attendance. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
And as farmers across Jigawa State prepare for this wheat farming season, the effect of flood, high cost of fuel and inadequate seeds may likely affect wheat processing across many parts of the state. In this report, Trust TV's Northwest correspondent Idris Jibrin visited some wheat farming communities in Jigawa as farmers prepare for cultivation to recover the loss occasioned by the recent flood disaster. The report.
Wheat farming season is here again. Mustafa Usaini and many other farmers have been looking forward to this moment. But this year, the wheat farming harvest has been poor, and most farmers hope to recover their loss from wheat.
Actually, I want to plant wheat here. Last year I did it and I enjoyed it. So this year I want to do it too. But we need government to help us with seed and also fertilizer.
Abdullahi Wami in Varanda village of Jigawa State is harvesting his rice to prepare for wheat cultivation. He says the flood disaster this year has significantly affected his output and that the wheat farming may also be threatened by a number of challenges.
This year, the flood disaster has destroyed most of our farm produce. So I'm clearing my farm so that I can plant wheat. But then there is challenges of planting a wheat. We need enough water, we need seed, we need fertilizer.
But according to the Wheat Farmers, Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria in Jigawa, federal government is expected to provide seed and other inputs that will assist wheat farmers across the state.
Most of our farmers, because they have experienced these floodings this year, lands have been so much inundated by flood. And to make the land prepared, it takes more time because it's still very wet. Most of the suitable areas have been consumed by the flood, and we have to allow the water to recede and then start preparation. The preparation actually is to clear the rubbish of the previous crop produced, and then maybe start tilting the soil. And as you can see from here, most of the land are almost ready for wheat farming, but the remnants of the crops are still being harvested. Farmers are trying to clear the land, took away most of the crops produced, and then start tilting.
With the significant loss incurred by farmers owing to the flood disaster this year, These people are hoping that wheat farming season will help them recover, but certainly not a solution to the much anticipated food crisis across the country. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Jigawa.
And away from Jigawa State to Delta State, where the government of the state has said that it has recorded 22 new births at the various internally displaced persons camps in the state. Secretary to the state government and chairman of the Interministerial Flood Management Committee, Patrick Uka, who disclosed this in Asaba, said the death rates were low compared to previous years. The report.
Following the level of devastation that came in the aftermath of this year's flood, the Delta State government says it is grateful that its effect has not led to the loss of many lives. According to him, this year's flood is far more than what was experienced in 2021, but the proactiveness of the state government and God's intervention helped in managing the after effects. He revealed that although the state is still compiling records of the death in Pantani, where some travelers lost their lives while traveling towards the Port Harcourt-Bayelsa Road, 4 deaths were recorded in Isoko and 1 in Ugbolu.
Delivery of about 22 babies in the different camps. Yes, we recorded some deaths, we're still compiling, but no death in the camp. We only recorded 1 death on a camp, and that has nothing to do with the flood. It was basically the personal event that the president has had before now. But in Patani, there are some travelers who were going through Patani, and I think about 10 of them lost their lives. Patani moving towards the Port Harcourt-Bayelsa end. Then about 6 indigents were lost in that area. In Isoko, we recorded about 4, and 1 in Ugbolu.
He also commended the private sector response to the flood disaster and called for the dredging of the Niger and Benue rivers as a precaution to NIMET's flood projection that 2023 would be more devastating.
But we thank God the response of a lot of private sector individuals and corporate organizations equally came to the aid of the state. I think that we should look at more on how we can stop this flooding, which of course everybody knows that dredging the river Niger and building another dam first is going to be one of the measures that can solve it.
Uka is hopeful that with proper preparations, the impact of floods would be minimized.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at how historical sites attract visitors to Sokoto State. Details of this report and more. Just stay with us.
That's good.
Welcome back to the news updates. Before we proceed for the rest of the news, let's take a look at our top stories. We told you that 5 suspected gunmen killed in Umuana, Isofia, in Agwata local government area in Anambra State. And Femfere as 12th Emir of Katagum receives a staff of office. And moving to other news, Islamic scholars have called on Muslim communities to recognize the role of Muslims in nation building. They also called for proper interpretation of Islamic rulings on the rights of women in leadership. The calls were part of the discussion at a one-day seminar on women in judicial and executive leadership from the perspective of Islamic jurisprudence, organized by Islamic Education Trust in collaboration with Dawah Institute and Muslim Lawyers Association of Nigeria, held in Minna, Niger State. The report.
The speakers emphasized on the need to create awareness on Islamic rulings on the right of women to aspire for leadership positions and their right to participate in nation building. The guest of honor and wife of Niger State Governor Dr. Amina Abubakar Sani Bello said despite the fact that only Quran and Constitution grant women the right to take up leadership roles, women, especially those in Muslim communities, have been relegated to background. She said Muslim communities must begin to recognize women as key players in national development.
A program like this is important to revive the debate so that people are aware, not just the Quran and Sunnah actually say about the role of women in this position, so that we do not deprive those who deserve it and are capable of doing those roles from having them in Nigeria. So I think it's a very important.
Dr. Amina said the way media present women also contributes to the negative perception the society has about women. Various speakers said there was a need to broaden the debate on position of women in societal development.
The objective is to make more well known the fact that there is a diversity of opinion among Muslim scholars on the subject of women in executive and women in judicial levels of leadership. So while some have traditionally held the position that it is not permissible, what we are learning from our scholars is because there is no explicit prohibition in the Quran or in the Sunnah, every argument raised to say it is prohibited is a product of ijtihad, of juristic reasoning. It's one-sided interpretation. There have been scholars from the beginning of Islam that have held alternative views. And what we want is let people know there's a difference of opinion on this issue, the way there's a difference of opinion on so many other issues of Islamic jurisprudence.
They said there was a need to create awareness for women to aspire for more leadership positions, especially in 2023 elections. From Minna, Abubakar Akote, Trust TV News.
And moving on, Hubari, where the legendary Sheikh Osman bin Fodio was buried, is one of the historical sites in Sokoto State. It was originally the residence of late Dam Fodio, which his son, Sultan Muhammad Bello, built for him after the jihad. The remains of the renowned Islamic scholar and some members of the immediate family were laid to rest in the historical place. Hubari now attracts Fulani pilgrims from far and near who made it a tradition to visit the place in a lifetime. In this report, Yushau Adamu finds out why Hubari is being visited as a historical place. Take a look.
Over 200 years after the demise of late Sheikh Usman Damfodio, Hubari remains a busy place as hundreds of Fulani from the nooks and crannies of Nigeria and beyond troop to this historic site to visit the tomb of the renowned Islamic scholar. Fulani are coming to this place every day, but they mostly come during Eid al-Kabir, Eid al-Fitr and Maulud festivities. While regular visitors are allowed to visit the tomb and other historic sites on their own, first-timers are being conducted round the places by the custodians of the house. However, only male visitors are allowed to enter the room where the tomb of the famous Islamic scholar is located. This is my 12th trip to this place. This is my 5th year, and there is a year I visited this place 4 times. This kind of visit is sunnah as said by the Holy Prophet, and because Sheikh Usmanu is among the respected Muslim clerics, Fulani visit his tomb. Visitors are expected to perform supplications for the late Islamic reformer and the rest of Muslim Ummah. To some Fulani, a visit to Hubari is as important as pilgrimage. From Sokoto, Yushau Adamu, Trust TV News.
And on the foreign scene, Charles III is to take part in his first Remembrance Sunday event as king, laying a wreath in tribute to UK and Commonwealth war dead as Britain's new Prime Minister also lauds Ukraine's defenders. The 73-year-old monarch had previously deputized for his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, who died in September, aged 96, after a year of fallen health. And since 2017, she had watched the annual service from a balcony of the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office overlooking the cenotaph. Last year, a back complaint forced her to miss the ceremony in central London just weeks after an unscheduled overnight stay in hospital. Charles, who served in the Royal Army in the 1970s, laid a wreath on her behalf. Now King and Commander-in-Chief of British Forces, he will lay his first breath at the War Memorial as reigning monarch. The ring of the red artificial poppies, Britain's symbol of remembrance, is mounted on black leaves with a ribbon in the King's scarlet, purple and gold horse-racing colours. Buckingham Palace said a similar wreath will be laid on behalf of his wife, Queen Consort Camilla, for the first time. And the Egyptian Health Ministry has confirmed that at least 20 people were killed and 6 injured when a minibus fell into a canal in northwestern Egypt's Nile Delta region. It was gathered that the bus was carrying some 35 people when it derailed on the highway and fell into the Mansouriya Canal in Agad town in the northern governorate of the Kalia. And Egyptian media outlets reported that the accident was caused by a malfunction in steering wheel without elaborating. Traffic accidents are common in Egypt, with roads that are poorly maintained and driving rules flouted attributed as the major causes. And finally, in sports, Alex Pereira defeated Israel Adesanya in stunning fashion on Saturday night, winning by technical knockout by punches in the 5th and final round to claim the middleweight belt at UFC 281 in New York. All 3 judges had the bout going to Adesanya 39-37 heading into the final round. Pereira claims the belt from Adesanya, who has been a dominant middleweight champion since winning the title in 2019. And that brings us to the end of the news updates at this hour. For more, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across all our social media platforms. My name is Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.